This war was supposed to be swift, decisive, but it's now devolved into a brutal, 100-day slugfest. So today, we're going to look beyond the immediate battlefield to uncover the hidden costs and the really dangerous geopolitical ripple effects of a conflict that has no clear endgame. This is a story about the new and, frankly, unforgiving math of modern warfare.
So the promise was a 4 to 5 week campaign. The reality? A 100-day grind. And look, this miscalculation isn't just about getting the timing wrong. It points to a really fundamental misunderstanding of the enemy's strategy and the very nature of this conflict.
And this is where things get really confusing. By every conventional metric you can think of, targets destroyed, air superiority, leadership taken out, the US and its allies are winning. And yet the war isn't just continuing, it's actually expanding. To really get why, we've got to look past those traditional measures of victory.
Well, the answer, it comes down to a brutal race of attrition. You see, this war isn't being decided by brilliant maneuvers on a battlefield. It's being decided by the cold, unforgiving math of industrial capacity. And right now, that calculation is tilting against the United States.
Take a look at this number, $20,000. That's roughly what it costs to build one Iranian Shahed drone, the real workhorse of their aerial assault. They can crank these out by the thousands every month. It's cheap, it's disposable, and you know what? It's effective.
Now consider this number, $4 million. That's the price tag for just one of the interceptor missiles used to shoot down that $20,000 drone. The economic asymmetry here isn't just significant, it's the centerpiece of their entire strategy.
This imbalance has a name, the cost-exchange ratio. And this is the absolute core of Iran's strategy. They are weaponizing economics. They're forcing the US and its allies into a financially ruinous defensive posture. They spend thousands just to make the coalition spend millions. Over time, that kind of defense just isn't economically sustainable.
And this is where that cost-exchange ratio gets really terrifying. This chart shows what happens at the current burn rate. Our most critical high-end interceptors, the ones we can't just quickly replace, are facing exhaustion. Analysts are warning that our supply of advanced SM-3s could be gone in 2 weeks. THAAD's interceptors, maybe 3. That defensive shield, it's starting to crumble.
Now, beyond the military math, this conflict is completely trapped in a political quagmire. The very idea of what victory even looks like here is, well, it's elusive. And that's because the US and Iran are playing two completely different games.
So we have the US strategy, which is all about applying pressure on these 3 fronts, hoping the whole thing collapses. But, and this is a huge but, that fundamentally misreads what Tehran is actually trying to do. Their goal isn't military victory, it's regime survival. After decades of sanctions and unrest, they've become masters of endurance. Their calculus is brutally simple. They believe they can absorb the pain longer than the West can sustain the pressure.
And that right there, that's the strategic trap of modern air power. As one analyst put it so well, you can destroy things from the sky, but you cannot hold territory or prevent your enemy from reconstitution. So without a ground component, this becomes what some are calling an occupation without occupation, just an endless cycle of bombing with no political endgame. And that leaves our regional allies dangerously exposed the moment the planes go home.
But here's the thing. The true cost of this war isn't just measured in dollars or munitions spent in the Middle East. The bill is coming due in other absolutely critical theaters, and it's creating profound risks for American security all over the globe. The first consequence is what strategists are ominously calling the China clock. It's simple. Every advanced missile we fire in the Gulf is one less missile we have for the Pacific. Every warship we tie down is one less to deter aggression against Taiwan. China doesn't even have to act. It just has to wait as America's Pacific deterrent is steadily drained away.
The second hidden cost is the Ukraine drain. You've got critical munitions like Patriot missiles and artillery shells being consumed at a ferocious rate. And these are coming from the exact same strained production lines that are trying to supply Ukraine's defense against Russia. So every missile fired in the Middle East becomes a strategic gift to the Kremlin.
So you see, we're not dealing with one crisis anymore. This is a 3-theater problem. The resources we're burning fighting Iran are creating immediate risks in Europe and a dangerous deterrence gap in the Pacific. It's a strategic nightmare,
It's like having a fire in one house, but fighting it is draining all the water you need to protect the other too. So when you add all this up, the attrition math, the political stalemate, the global strategic cost, it all points to a really tough lesson about the changing nature of conflict in the 21st century. See, it turns out that victory in the 21st century isn't decided by who can strike the hardest. It's won by the side that can simply endure the longest, militarily, industrially, and politically. This is the new arithmetic of war. It's the arithmetic of endurance. So for any lawmaker, for any citizen watching this is the ultimate question we have to ask. Look, nobody doubts the American military can fight for 100 days. Of course it can. The real question is, what does the world look like on day 101? What's the true price of this conflict? And what kind of world, with a depleted arsenal, strained alliances, and emboldened adversaries, are we actually creating?